back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Natasha and welcome to my channel. This video is a part of the Freeze-Dried February collaboration, which is hosted by Angela over at the Inquisitive Farmwife. There is going to be a giveaway. There are lots of really cool items that are a part of this giveaway. I will leave all that information down in the description box below. So in order to enter the giveaway, you have to leave comments on all of the content creators' videos. So make sure you leave a wonderful, thoughtful comment down in the comment section down below for your chance to be entered. And the more comments that you do on the other creators' videos, the more chances you have of winning. So I highly recommend you go and check out all my friends down in the description box below and everybody that was a part of this collaboration. There has been some fantastic recipes, some fantastic ideas, and I'm super excited today to show you one of my favorite ways to make an MRE style freeze-dried spaghetti meal. So my husband and I are both medically retired from the Army, and one of our favorite MREs is the spaghetti meal. Obviously there's lots of preservatives and everything in the MREs that they make for the military, but in this one, there aren't any. So we're just gonna use our Harvest Right freeze dryer to make a wonderful shelf-stable meal. So many people just put their freeze-dried goods into their Mylar bags with an oxygen absorber or even as a meal in a jar. I have tons of videos on this channel in playlist for meals in a jar or for just meals that we have put into Mylar. But today I want to show you one of the other ways that I like to store some of our ready-to-go meals. And I store them this way for a couple different reasons. So in an emergency situation, clean, fresh water may not be available. And so I have figured out a way that I can store my ready-made meals with water inside just one of my Mylar bags. So this is an example of one that I've done. This is beef stew with water. So my beef stew is actually down here on the bottom, and it is completely sealed and separated from my water up here at the top. Okay, Mylar is very strong. This could very well be a fantastic option for you to have emergency water stored as well. So the water in this pouch right here could be used to rehydrate this meal down here. It could be used as a daily ration. And it does have a fail-safe seal, so if this was punctured, you're not going to lose the food down here in the bottom, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to pack these up at the very end. I'm gonna show you how I do this. And then the way that we like to store these is we just like to fold them in half and put a little piece of tape right here, and that keeps it nice and tight, and you can just stack them on top of each other into your long-term storage totes or into your food grade buckets. So I'm gonna bring you down here. I'm gonna show you everything that we're going to be putting into our meal. We're gonna get it in the freeze dryer, and then I'm gonna show you how we package that up with the water and how it is ready to go. So I know many of you watching this video may not have a freeze dryer yet. As you can see here in my background, we actually use a company called Thrive Life. They sell freeze-dried foods. So if you do not have the money to put towards a Harvest Right freeze dryer, going through Thrive Life is definitely a wonderful option. You can still create a whole lot of wonderful meal in a jars and shelf-stable emergency preparedness meals. And I just absolutely love their company. I love them so much that I became affiliated with them and still purchase their items even though I have my own Harvest Right freeze dryer. There's just some of the items that they have that I don't want to personally put into my machine. They make these wonderful honey crystals. They have beautiful sauces that are just fantastic and delicious. And so I just prefer Thrive Life's over my own for those items. I will leave links down in the description box below if you are interested in a Harvest Right freeze dryer or if you're interested in Thrive Life freeze-dried foods. Okay, so I'm gonna start with what we are putting in our spaghetti meal, okay? So everything here has been pre-cooked. I cooked my lean ground beef. It is super important that you use very lean meats when you are freeze drying. If you don't, that brings the shelf life down and also could cause spoilage, okay, because of the oil and the fat content in them. So this ground beef has been strained. I have squished down as much as I can of the grease out of here. So this is pretty dry, and I did use a very lean ground beef. I'm also going to use thin spaghetti. This actually was on sale, so kind of a win-win for me. I personally prefer the thin spaghetti over the thick or the regular spaghetti for the freeze-dried meals. It tends to reconstitute a little bit better for us, so that is what we are going to be using. And I used about 2 pounds to fill my medium 2022 Harvest Right model. So my model only has 4 trays on it. Their newest medium size freeze dryer has 5 trays on it. So just keep that in mind that mine is a medium and I fit about 2 pounds of the spaghetti on there. I also took my spaghetti and I broke it in half and then I broke it again. So I broke it into 4s, and again, that's just personal preference. You don't necessarily have to do it, but it is just easier to bag up that way when it is in smaller chunks. The next thing we are going to use is I found these wonderful number 10 cans of spaghetti sauce. These bad boys were only $3.99 each, so we are going to use up these big, massive number 10 cans and get this freeze dried up into a smaller quantity because there is only going to be 4 of us in this household here very soon. My eldest son is going to be leaving for the Air Force here in a couple of weeks, so we are now going to start kind of bringing down our family meals that we are packaging to fit a 4-person family versus a 5-person family. I have all of my pasta is cooked and I've just evenly spread it out on all of my trays. I did rinse it in some cold water because I do not want to put anything warm into the freeze dryer. And I am also not going to be pre-freezing mine. I personally do not pre-freeze a lot of my stuff. I know it does help the machine to make it last a little bit longer because you're not putting as much strain on the machine. However, I spent so much money on it, doggone it, it's gonna do its job. Alright, so this is spaghetti sauce that has tomato chunks in it. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to need 1 or 2 of these, so we will find out. I'm going to first layer my meat onto my trays here, and then we will pour sauce over top until the very tops of our trays are filled up. So this is about 2 pounds of ground beef. I figured that would be a good amount to evenly spread in here. And I did season the meat and I did season my pasta water because I wasn't sure how much seasoning was going to be in these number 10 sauce cans. You could absolutely make homemade tomato sauce for this, but since I got such a good deal on that number 10 can, I figured we would just go ahead and get that processed up. And I do have my freeze dryer pre-freezing right now at the moment. You could probably hear that along with my squirrel monkey in the background, Mr. Ollie over there. If you guys are new and don't know, I do have a second channel that is my main channel focused on my monkey, which you can hear him, Ollie. And that channel name is Ollie the Monkey. So if you like monkeys, we like to do some lives over there on that channel where you can ask us any questions about owning a squirrel monkey or anything like that. But I know I've had a lot of new people come and ask what that chirping is in the background. So they think that I have birds. But nope, it's just Ollie. Little monk. Alright, so that was about perfect for me. So 2 pounds of pasta, 2 pounds of meat. That's where we're at to fill my 4 trays of my medium-sized Harvest Right freeze dryer. You could absolutely do this where you toss it all together and then throw it on the trays. I like to layer mine. I find that it freeze dries a little bit better that way. I can tell if there are any cold spots or anything because the tomato sauce is on the top. And that's typically what takes the longest to freeze dry in my freeze dryer. I am filling my trays up to the very, very top, my friends. We are maxing it out. I know they suggest that you leave some headspace in there, but I'm not going to. I think we're only gonna need 1 can, which is perfect. All right, so I am going to put myself in fast mode, and I will see you back when these are ready to put into the machine. All right, my friends, so here you can see this is the final freeze-dried product. As you can see here, having this layered with the tomato on the top, the tomato, if you just do it on the bottom, sometimes it doesn't dry as nicely as what it does when you put it on the top like how I did. So that is the main reason why I like to layer it in the way that I did. It's a little bit different than how most people do it, but I find if you do it this way, then you don't have to flip it and continue drying on the other side, because the noodle parts will be dry when this is dry. So here we go. I'm going to show you everything that we need to get this packaged in an MRE style way. So you are going to need your sealer. This comes with your Harvest Right freeze dryer. So you are going to need this. I'm going to just use this basic cutter so I can cut through my spaghetti to portion it. Going to need your oxygen absorbers. A small funnel similar to this. Mine is a little collapsible one. You can get them fairly cheap on Amazon. You're going to need some paper towel. And then a very, very thick Mylar. Harvest Right has been one of the better ones that we have used. If you're using Mylar from Amazon, be very careful with trying to do this in those ones. They're just not as thick as the Harvest Right ones are, and so the water could be punctured, and we've never had a problem with Harvest Right, but we have with some of the Amazon ones that I've purchased. So just keep that in mind. And then of course, you're going to need your freeze-dried food. So you can do this with any sort of MRE style meal. It doesn't have to be spaghetti, but let me show you how we get this all packaged up. And you are going to want the bigger size of Mylar. This allows for you to be able to put the food down here and have room to seal, and then put water at the top as well. So the bigger bags are better for this. First thing I'm going to do is go through here and give myself portions. You can see how nice and dry that is. I'm going to slide one of these down in here. Get all of our noodles. I should be able to fit 2 of these down in here. sure that you shake down all the contents to get them down as low as you possibly can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of that paper towel and I am going to just wipe. How you can see on the sides here of the bag is some of the product. I don't have a special funnel or anything to help eliminate that, so I'm just going to use a paper towel and knock that down. I'm going to add in my oxygen absorber down into the bottom, and then we are going to make our first seal. Remember that you want to reseal these up as quickly as possible, so that's the first thing I'm going to do is So that's the first thing I'm going to do is reseal this. There we go, so I've got that resealed back up. Take our oxygen absorber and drop it down on in there. We're going to go down as low as we can without hitting any of the food and make our first seal. I try to kind of squish the Mylar a little bit to see right about where the food ends and right where I can get a nice seal on it. All right, so there you go. We've got our first seal. Now I'm going to do one right above it, right about here, and that's going to be my safety. Okay, so I've got my seal and my safety seal. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put one more seal right above that one, but I want to leave just a little bit of a gap there so that way if it can fold over with the water, and that way I can separate my meal from my water when it is time to reconstitute it. And so this will be the bottom seal, the first bottom seal of our water. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so here you can see we've got our 3 seals. We're going to make one more seal now right above this top one, which gives this water a fail-safe, which is just like how we did down here. I always double seal. You just never know when something is going to be punctured or pressured or the seal didn't quite go, so I just always double seal for extra safety. All right, there we go. So there is going to be the very bottom of where our water is going to sit. So here comes the next part. So next for the water part, we are going to make a seal at the very top, okay? So we are at the very tip top. We are gonna seal that down. And you might be thinking, okay, Natasha, now how are you gonna get water in there? So the next thing we are going to do is we are gonna take this top corner and we are going to make a slit in it by using our scissors. So we're just gonna come on up in here, cut, 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 cut. Oh. All right, so there you go. You can see we have our little corner cut. We're just gonna open it up and it just needs to be big enough to get your funnel in here. This is why I particularly like this squishy one, is I can kind of bend it down a little bit to fit into that little pocket just perfectly. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use filtered water. I'm not going to use tap water straight from my tap because I know that's got all sorts of craziness in it. So I'm going to get some filtered water to get ready to put in here. All right, so this next part is slightly tricky, but make sure you hold on to the base of your funnel and you're just going to funnel in your water. You don't want to overstuff this because we still have to make our seals. All right, and about there is about where I want it. You can see how there is still some slack in this Mylar bag, and that is exactly what you want. You do not want to overstuff this, because if you are backpacking or something and it freezes, you want it to be able to expand a little bit. We also want it to be able to expand a little bit so we can fold it in half to make our MRE style. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to take that paper towel, or a new paper towel again, and we are going to wipe down that inside crease in there. We are going to come down about 1/2 inch right here, and we are going to make our first seal. So what I like to do when I am doing this is I like to pinch the top part and have one arm on one side of my sealer and my other arm on the other side. See, and if you are filling this too full, you will not be able to do this. So it's extremely important to not fill it too full here. Okay, so here we go. We're going to make our first seal. Remember, don't get your thumb in there. Hold on to that corner with this hand right here. There you go. You can see we've got a successful seal right here. I can squeeze the bag and no water is coming out. Of course though, like I said, I always double seal, so I'm going to do another one right in here. But first, I'm going to take that paper towel and wipe this out really well, now that I've got this main seal here, to make sure that no water is going to get up into there, or that no water got missed the first time. So we are going to go through and just really make sure we get into all those little crevices there. And we are going to seal that again. All right, so there you go. You can see we've got our double seal. So one of the important things to note when you are using water in here is to make sure that you are using distilled or super filtered water that you trust. You don't want bacteria growing in this top part, but that is also why I do a double seal safety. So if you find your water is bad, I've never had one go bad when using my filtered water, but you just never know. But there you have it. All we are going to do next is label this, and then we like to fold ours in half like this and put a little piece of tape and then store it like this. So you've got your food down in this compartment with your oxygen absorber, and you've got all the water you are going to need to be able to reconstitute this, or just to drink, whatever floats your boat. And then you can just cut this line right in here. Now, if for some reason this top part does puncture, you won't lose your bottom part because you've got this double seal on this bottom part. So it's a very awesome way. If you are somebody who is new to prepping, or you are trying to work on your water storage like we are, this is a fantastic way to be able to incorporate the 2-for-1. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you check out all the other videos for this collaboration down in the description box below. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next video. Bye!